All right. Thank you guys for joining us to Wake Your Punk Tush Up. Today I have a special guest, and her name is Ava Laura. And just a little backstory. When I first met Ava Laura, I was doing, I was starting out, I think, when it was Blab? It was like in the first couple of months of Blab, I believe.
Yeah.
And I started doing a show, which I no longer do, and I probably only did maybe 2 or 3 of them, about just African Americans. And what do we talk about on that, Blab? Do you remember? You probably done so many.
You were talking about Black women stereotypes.
There we go. I was talking about Black women stereotypes, right? So I think, were we doing the black skin, dark skin versus light skin conversation?
Well, it kind of got into that discussion because a certain someone came on and yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. But that wasn't the intent, but that's what it became.
Yes. So it became the whole conversation of team dark skin, team light skin, what have you. So anyhow, and Ava Laura jumped on, and her vibe, I have to tell you guys, she has a sick vibe. Like, her vibe is just so welcoming. And at first I was like, oh, she thinks she's better than me. I don't know. And that was just from her sitting there, because her vibe and the way that her positive energy is, it's just like, she just exudes and confidence, really, truthfully, a confidence about herself. And as us punks do, we usually take that as a sign of us being weaker than someone else, right? But since I've pulled out of that whole thing and I'm more positive, and I'm, I look at things in a different light. Now I'm like, you know what? And then after speaking to her and jumping into her blabs and stuff, and she now has a show on Blab, which is called, oh my gosh, give us a rundown of the show.
Boot to Boom.
Boot to Boom. I don't know
from
how that
bootstrap
escaped
to
my
booming.
mind when
It's the entrepreneur's journey from bootstrap to booming.
And so and that show is just awesome. I love the guests that they have. And my daughter's coming in right now. So after I've told my other daughter, so hold on one second. But Ava Laura, while I'm getting that taken care of, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got started in the whole.
Sure. Thank you so much, Miss Jessica, on mom duty while we're interviewing. You see how moms have to get to multitask all the time. I am an intuitive consultant and life coach, and I love working with leaders, celebrities, and executives and entrepreneurs who are very mission driven, who are very heart-centered, who are really about making an impact in the world, truly leaving the world a better place than when they came here. And so they're all about living in the flow of passion and purpose, creating a life that is absolutely spectacular. We don't do average, we don't do mediocre, but really living a life of excellence and leaving an amazing legacy.
So
I help my clients to do that.
You don't do punks. That's what you don't do, right?
Nah, we don't do punks at all. No, ma'am. No punks. I will take you from punk to purpose. That's going to be my new slogan, from punk to purpose.
I love it. Oh, I love that. I think I might put that on the podcast. Move you from, we gonna wake your punk tush up from punk to purpose.
I don't play that.
This is I call it a kick with hearts and a slap with feathers. It's very gentle, it's very loving, but it also just gives you the information and the tools and the resources that you need, so you can really pull yourself up and get started. So let's jump in and dive in. First of all, I want you to start on the whole chakra, because I have to tell you, I went to a yoga session here and I had my chakra read, and right here in the middle where my stomach was closed. So what does that mean?
Solar plexus.
Solar plexus. What does that mean exactly?
Mm-hmm. Well, what happens is, so let me just background. So for people who don't necessarily know about chakras and energy and that sort of thing, understanding that essentially everything is energy, right? Everything is made of energy. So, people, energy, the chair that I'm sitting in right now is energy. The computer that I am using to do this interview is energy. Everything around us is energy. And so that's why you can walk into a space and you can say, ooh, I love this energy.
Yeah.
Or you can say, ooh, I don't like that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And the same way you can, a person, just like you said, when you met me, like I loved her energy, like what she was very nurturing, she was grounded, she was confident, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all energy. You didn't know me. You didn't really talk, but that was an energy. That was a feeling that you got from that experience.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
And so understanding that everything is energy. Mm-hmm. And chakras are simply energy centers that exist within our body.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we all agree that we have 7 main chakras. There are, people who say there are more chakras because, again, our whole bodies are energy, but we have 7 main chakras that start from the crown of our head mm-hmm. and go down to the back of our spine. Okay. Or actually, I should say a little lower. Our root chakras, we're like sort of a sexual center. So we have 7 main chakras, and so the crown chakra is the top chakra, which really, and I'm oversimplifying, you guys. So just know I'm oversimplifying. But the crown chakra is representative of your connection with spirit, your spirituality, your relationship with spirit. Your third eye, which a lot of people sort of focus on, I want to have my third eye open, or is your third, that whole kind of thing that governs your intuition, your ability to see the unseen, right? And then you have your throat chakra, which is your creativity, your ability to speak your truth. Again, for creatives, for people who do a lot of speaking engagements, like myself, heavily using the throat chakra. Then you have your heart chakra, which of course, your heart, forgiveness, unconditional love, compassion, empathy, those type of things. And then you have what we talked about for you, your solar plexus. And your solar plexus is your will, it's your ego, it's your power center, right? So it's kind of like how you show up in the world. Like, are you showing up as powerful or are you showing up as a punk? That's going to be in your solar plexus, right?
Okay.
Right? Then you have your sacral chakra, which is also in your belly, but it's like below your belly button, which is your femininity. There's also emotional energy there as well, your sexuality. And then you have your root chakra at the very bottom, which is your security, right? How safe and how secure do you feel in the world? So again, very brief synopsis. I could go on and on, but in a nutshell, those are your chakra centers, and you want your chakras to be open and in harmony with one another. Okay. So if any of your chakras are closed or out of harmony, then that means that you're out of harmony, essentially. Right? You're out of harmony with yourself. You're out of harmony with your energy. You're out of harmony with the world. And so you always want to have your chakras balanced. So one of the things that I offer a service is called chakra balancing, which is basically balancing your 7 energy centers so that you are in harmony with yourself, with your energy, and with the world.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. Okay. So I'm closed. How do I open?
Yeah, there's different ways. I mean, obviously, like I said, chakra balancing. A chakra balancing is one of the best ways to open your chakras, again, and that's why I do chakra balancings. So using energy. So I use a combination of Reiki. I also use a combination of crystals as well, and aromatherapy. So Reiki, crystals, essential oils, aromatherapy. So that's what I use to balance and open up your chakras. Meditation is a great way to do that. I was
just gonna say, okay, okay.
That's another tool that I use, and I do meditations on Periscope every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, great.
So meditation is a great way to open your chakras as well. But all of those tools, but a lot of it is about awareness and understanding that whatever is closing your chakras needs to be fixed in your life.
Wow.
So you can come to me, I can balance your chakras, but if you're going to go ahead on and do the same thing that you've been doing, they're just going to close up again.
Gotcha.
So you really want to know, why are your chakras closed? What's causing that? Mm-hmm. And again, get them open, but you want them to stay open. So that means you're going to have to make some changes.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's move right into the ego then. That may be what's closing it, right?
That it certainly could be a part of it.
Okay. And then
it certainly could be a part of it.
So the energy, let's say I have a relationship that's pulling a lot of my energy, that's draining me. And then I'm just going to dive right into it. you're in a marriage, you're in a relationship, what have you, with someone that's draining your energy, and the ego part of you wants to just control it, or, you know, try to change that person, what have you. What would you say to someone that's in a relationship that, number one, is pulling a lot of negative, you know, having that negative energy and that feel within, you know, that whole space within a relationship? And then number two, how does the ego play a part in that?
Yeah. First, let me talk about what ego is and what ego isn't. Um, you hear a lot of talk about ego. It's so interesting when I have, worked with people. Maybe they've had a consultation. Maybe they're meeting me for the first time, or something like that. And I'll mention ego, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm not arrogant. You know, I don't have ego." We all have egos. We all have egos. We are made up of ego, and we're made up of spirit. So we have our spiritual selves, and then we have our mental egoic self. And the important thing to know about ego, there's a lot to learn about ego. Let me just say that. And one of the things that I do when I'm working with clients in the coaching capacity, we spend a lot of time talking about ego so that they can get very clear about what their ego is, so that they know when it's showing up. That's very important, because if you don't understand ego, you're not understanding when it's showing up in your life and when it's wreaking havoc. So you need to be very clear about what your ego is and how it shows up in your life. And so one of the biggest things to understand about ego is that if you think about ego, is like, I call ego like your bodyguard. It's like it's your protective skin for you. So just like you have your skin on your body, your ego is your protective skin, trying to protect you from failure, trying to protect you from rejection, trying to protect you from anything that it perceives as a threat or as a harm, right? That's what ego is. And so ego is your bodyguard. It wants to step in and it wants to protect you from anything that's going to hurt you.
Okay.
But the problem with that is that ego is very immature. It's very immature. And so even though it's stepping in and it's trying to save you, it's saving you from things that actually are good for you. Failure is not bad. Rejection is not bad, right? Putting yourself out there, taking risks is not bad. But ego will tell you, "Oh no, Jessica, don't call that person. They might reject you." Even though calling that person could give you an opportunity that you would not get had you not called that person. Remember the last time you stepped out there and called that person, they rejected you? Remember how you felt? We don't want that to happen again. So this time, just don't even bother with that person at all. Or in a relationship. Remember the last time you were in a relationship and that person did you wrong? Well, this time when you get in a relationship, make sure you try to control everything so that person can't ever hurt you again. So ego is trying to protect you, but in its attempt to protect you, it's hurting you. So that's the role of ego. And you got to understand all the different nuances and all the different ways that your ego steps in, because that protection or lack of protection really is going to harm you in your relationships if you do not control it. You can't get rid of ego. You can't get rid of it. A lot of people say, "Oh, I want to get rid of it." You can't get rid of ego. Ego serves a purpose. You can only be aware of it and control it.
Wow. That's amazing. So, all right. So I'm going to read a little piece of what I have. I can't remember what book I found this in, but anyhow, and you just confirm this or deny it. It says ego is a very constricted version of your true self. It creates a sensation of tightness and contraction in the body. So is that true?
I would say it's true. It's not complete, obviously, but there is definitely truth to that. One of the things that I teach the people that I work with is how to recognize when they're in ego and how to recognize when they're in spirit.
No, gotcha.
Okay. And so one of the things that I teach is that ego is loud. Ego does not shut up. Ego will talk until it gets your attention, and it is going to keep talking. Remember that? It's like, I mean, it's like a spoiled child. It's just going to keep going until it gets what it wants. Where spirit, on the other hand, will sit back. Spirit is calm. Spirit is smooth. Spirit is relaxed, right? Spirit is like Denzel Washington. It's like, hey, you know, and spirit is not going to repeat itself. Spirit is going to tell you something, and then it's just going to be like, all right. And that's it. So you need to know the differences. And so in that way, yes, ego, you could say it's limiting, it's contracting. It doesn't feel good.
Is it like anger?
It not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Feelings is a whole different realm.
Okay.
That's another thing that I teach is really how to master your emotions.
Okay, gotcha.
Feelings is a whole nother realm. Feelings are very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with it is we don't understand our feelings, and therefore we don't know what the gift of our feelings are telling us and how to work with them. Feelings are powerful. So no, feelings are not ego.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So they're two separate things.
They are separate things.
Gotcha. Your ego, like you said, is kind of like your bodyguard trying to protect you. But the thing is when it gets in the way of you trying to overcome a fear or putting yourself out there.
When you were trying to get out of your comfort zone, ego is not your friend.
Gotcha.
Ego will be the one to smack you back down and say, no, stay here. It's safe. It's warm. It's cozy.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave.
Exactly. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Okay. So having a big ego is not something you want to boast about. Not necessarily.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You can have a big ego as long as you know how to control your big ego.
Gotcha. Okay. Because your big ego can get you in trouble, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know how to control your ego, it will control you.
Gotcha. And then that becomes a driving force instead of.
Yeah, you start to make your decisions from a place of ego and not a place of spirit.
And so is ego more self-centered? It's all self-centered,
Absolutely.
Right? It's just all.
Absolutely.
Whereas your spirit is more or less looking outward and trying to make sure you're making an impact.
Exactly. Spirit can see the whole of things, where ego just sees this little bit of piece of it and thinks is the whole.
Gotcha. It's all about me. It's just me here. That's it.
Yes.
I gotcha. All right. Great. Thank you so much for covering that. That's awesome. All right. So then moving into cord cutting and energy exchange. What I really want to touch on is kind of more or less the energy exchange and cord cutting. So when I first heard cord cutting, and I may just be naive, but I thought cord cutting was more or less you're still attached to your parent, to your mother, and it could be possibly your father from birth, and now you're an adult and that cord never really got cut. It's more or less you're still attached to that person, so you're not able to reattach yourself to your spouse or your significant other because you're still attached to your parent.
Not necessarily, because it's not about your parents per se.
Okay.
I mean, that's better than most people. Most people think of like what, from your child, like giving birth.
Yeah.
Like no, not
yeah.
You know, it's that concept in terms of an over attachment.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But it can be with anybody.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it could be with your parents. It could be with siblings. It could be with a coworker. It could be with your husband, with your wife. You know, it's really when understanding, again, everything is made up of energy, right?
Yeah.
And anytime you're in a relationship with anybody, you are exchanging energy. You're exchanging energy. That's why when we talk about, you know, sex is so important, because you are exchanging energy with somebody.
Exactly.
You know, so you get to a certain level with somebody, and what happens is the relationship physically could end, meaning you are no longer in this relationship with somebody, but the energy exchange is still there.
Gotcha.
So just because you think, well, I broke up with that person, it's over. No, ma'am. The energy could still be there. So you're like, why am I always thinking about this person? Why can't I let them go? Why when I look outside, I always see their car, or every time I turn on the radio, I always hear our song.
Exactly.
Right? All of these things.
Yeah.
It's energy.
Wow.
So if you don't cut that energy, that relationship is still going on.
Wow.
So you think you ended it, but it's not over. And so what a cord cutting is simply releasing that energy.
Okay.
It's releasing the energy and setting your intention to change the shape of that energy, whether it be to let the relationship go in peace, or whether it's a relationship that you're in that you want to stay in, but maybe it's unhealthy. There's an unhealthy aspect to that relationship. So you want to change the energy by having a cord cutting so you can sort of start anew.
Wow. Wow. So, okay. So let me give you an instance. Within a relationship that I'm in, I'm not going to say specifically what it is, but you'll probably already know after I tell you. But this particular person kept nagging at me, and I started to see, oh my gosh, they're doing this from a place of their ego, and they're doing it so they can grab the end. So then it makes me look like I'm the bad person because they say little things or do little things, and I would react. And I react with, you need to do and and you don't help me and right? But then I started to notice, okay, what if I step back and I take a moment and I just say, apologize for if they, if I said like, take out the trash or something. They said, you said it like, take out the trash. You didn't say, and I'm like, dude, like, just take the trash out. Anyway. So I said, oh, I apologize. I'm sorry if you felt I said it that way. And then they would say, well, you better be, it was like they came back with another nuance or they had something else to say. But I just stayed calm and I didn't let it get to me. So I kind of changed the energy and just kept it on them. So then.
Well, you changed how you respond.
Okay.
Because see, you can react or you can respond.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the reaction is usually, that's the ego.
Mm-hmm.
The reaction is the ego where you just snap back. What?
Exactly.
React.
Mm-hmm.
Where responding is spirit, where you sit back, you see the whole of it, and you say, you know what? This has nothing to do with me. This has everything to do with him.
Exactly.
I'm not going to add fuel to the fire by making it worse. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take the high road and just let it go.
Yeah.
And so what can I say that is going to minimize the situation and not fuel the fire so we can just move on?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
that's what you did. You responded versus reacting.
Okay. So there's a difference. Gotcha.
There's a big difference.
Okay. So yeah, because I used to respond. All right.
No, you used to react.
Yeah.
You went on autopilot. You went right into unconscious reaction ego mode.
Yeah. Yeah. So I used to react to a lot of people in the store too. That would cut me in line, and I'll be like, you might not know this, but today is not your day.
Yes.
And now I respond.
But cord cutting does help you to be able to respond versus to react.
Okay.
That is one of the things that a cord cutting will help you to do, because it's going to change the shape of that energy so that things that used to bother you won't bother you as much.
Gotcha. Okay. And is that more or less just shifting the energy, or is it more of a? Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you have anybody really that's in a marriage or relationship and they are looking to devolve into, just changing the energy of it. Let's say they can't get to you to do a cord cutting or what have you. Is this something you can do over the phone, by the way, or via?
Oh yeah, I do a distance. I was about to say, don't do it yourself, please.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Contact Ava Laura.
Get a professional. Do not do that.
Yeah.
Say this cord cutting thing don't work. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was trained. Don't do it yourself.
Gotcha. I think it's so important to have that outsider too. That is it almost like counseling where you get that outside view of?
No, it's a little different. Like actually, as a part of the cord cutting, I actually take a look at your chakras and read your chakras and tell you what's going on with your chakras.
Read the chakras virtually?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's all energy, Jessica. It is all energy.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't need you right here. I know I can assist you.
Look, this is crazy. I'm like, what? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because when
many of my clients, I tell you what's so interesting. So I'm here in the DC area.
Yes.
DC, Maryland area. And when I first started, 10 years ago now, I remember, I'll never forget, most of my clients, no, Ava Laura, I have to come in. I want to see you, because I want to touch you. I want to be able to talk to you. And I said, okay, that's fine. I said, but you don't have to come in. now, I would say a good, 30-40% of my clients aren't even in the DC area anymore. They're out of state or out of country even. I have international clients.
Mm-hmm.
But what's so interesting is that even my clients who are here in the DC area, sometimes they won't even come in. And they'll say, Ava, I'll just call in. I don't feel like dealing with traffic or,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you don't want to see me? No, I'm good. It's okay. We can talk. We can talk on the phone. We can do Skype. So
Wow.
It's really shifted where people understand that, it's just as effective distance-wise as it is here. Obviously, if you're here, it's great. You want to come in, but you really don't have to.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. I love that. And I'll definitely be looking into it because I'm like, yeah.
I personally, I really think that everybody should. I really look, I'm all about embracing all that you are for your most incredible life.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that without doing the work.
Yeah.
And if you are not working on yourself from the inside out, and that means, and I'm a coach, I'm a counselor. So all of that is important. I do all of that. I absolutely adore coaching. It's one of my favorite things that I love to do. But you got to work on your energy too.
Yeah.
And it's an area that most people miss because we don't really talk about that in this country.
Exactly.
It's not something that, people value.
Mm-hmm.
And so because they don't value it, it gets we just don't, we sort of deny it. It's like if we can't see it, we can't touch it, it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but energy is more real than the things that you see with your own two eyes.
Yeah. And I think just development and just really being at one with yourself in a whole, just people just bypass it and think it's a bunch of whatever. And I have to tell you that my business went skyrocketed once I really just started to just develop myself and, started to meditate, started to, I'm not sure if we have anybody in here that doesn't believe in God or what have you, but just reading my Bible and prayer and all of that good stuff. Once I implemented all of that and I really built a relationship with God and the connection, that's when everything just shifted. I just saw a big, huge shift. And all of a sudden I had this light like you beam of me all of a sudden that people are just attracted to. And they're just like, yeah, I see something in you. I'm like, yeah, what you see is because I really just sat down and I really have to find my true self. And
that's real. I can't tell you the number of people who will go to my website and they will say, I want to work with you.
Yeah.
They don't know me from who.
Yeah.
But they went to my website. They just said, I love your energy. I want to work with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's very real. And, I talk about this a lot with entrepreneurs because so many entrepreneurs are so focused on branding, on what my website looks like, what my logo looks like, my business cards, all of these sort of external things, which are important. Don't get me wrong. They're all important. But if your mind ain't right, if your heart ain't right, your emotions, your business ain't tight.
Exactly. Love it.
Your business is a reflection of you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not together, your business will not be together. I don't care how much money you're making because you can be the person, and I've seen it, I've worked with these people. You can make $1 million and find a way to blow it because of this.
Exactly. Mindset. Wow. All right. So then while we're talking about entrepreneurship and all that path right now, how does it correlate with success? We've kind of hit on it a little bit, but really just dive in deep for me really quick about how this really fuels your success. If you're able to sit down and really just tap into energies, how does it really fuel it?
Yeah. So I have a group in Facebook called Super Soul Success. And so I talk a lot about success. So you can certainly join that group. It's Super Soul Success on Facebook. And, one of the things I'm really passionate about is helping people to define success on their own terms.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I've seen is that I've worked with people who have achieved a certain level of success. They've gotten their college degree, they've gotten their master's degree, their PhD, or they're a doctor or what have you, right? They have the beautiful house and the nice car and they have the material things.
So someone
And
assume they're successful and they're accomplished, right?
exactly. If you look at them, you would say that they're successful.
They've made it, quote unquote.
I call them the being Mary Janes, right? The being Mary Jane. Because I have so many women, I promise you, they are beautiful,
Yeah.
they are successful, they are intelligent, and inside they are a freaking mess.
The MJs of the world. Yeah.
They are a mess. Their
and that's
life,
exactly
their personal life is a mess. They can't get their relationships together with themselves, with their friends, with their romantic partners, whoever. But they've made it.
Yeah.
They've made it. Yeah. And so what happens is when you've made it to that certain level, who do you go to?
Exactly.
Who helps you? Your mama can't help you. She don't understand. She ain't, you're the first one out to make it. Like you're the first generation made it. So everybody's coming to you for help. Everybody's looking to you, but you're a mess. So where do you go to fall? Where do you go to have a safe space? Where do you go to be you, to be authentic, to say, I thought I did everything that I was supposed to do, and now that I'm here, this doesn't look or feel the way I thought it would. I'm still not happy. There's still something wrong. There's still something missing. I need your help to find it.
So in essence, they are only preluding, and they're putting out there that they've accomplished all these things so that the outside eye and the naked eye will see and go, yeah, you got it. You are.
I want to be like her. Yeah. I want that. Yeah. I want the red bottoms. I want the Gucci.
Yeah, I want the Coach bags and everything.
But they're not happy.
Yeah,
they're not fulfilled. And so, when we talk about energy, it's really, who are you? Right? Who are you? What moves you? What excites you? Why did God put you here? What do you do that you do so well that nobody else can do it like you? Who are you? So it's tapping into that energy. It's getting to know yourself so well that nobody can tell you anything about yourself that you didn't already know. That your emotions can't drive you. Your ego can't drive you. They can't run you because you know you. Yeah. And most of us don't spend the time. We don't do the work to get to that space. You can't tell me nothing about myself that I don't already know. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent, nothing. You're not going to catch me by surprise because I've done the work. I know who I am.
And see, so like I said, and this is why I wanted to start off with Ava Laura, because I knew she was going to wake some punks up, right? Even successful punks.
Yeah. I tell everybody this. I am Oprah's life coach. Oprah need a coach. Whatever level that you are at, you need help. Everybody needs a success team. Everybody. You cannot become successful without a success team. And the more successful you are, the more people you have to have in place to help you to get there and to stay there. I am Oprah's life coach. Everybody needs help. Everybody. It doesn't matter what I don't care if you work at McDonald's or if you are CEO of Yahoo.
That's right.
We all are human. We all have the same struggles. We all have fears. We all doubt ourselves. And we all, and here's the thing. The only difference is not experiencing it. The only difference is, do you choose to move through the fear anyway? And how long does it take you to do it? What is your recovery time? Because somebody that work at McDonald's may say, I'm just not going to do it. That hurt. That's scary. I'm not doing it.
Ever. Exactly. And just feel comfortable.
But the CEO of Yahoo said, okay, that hurts. I don't like it, but let me go ahead on and do it right now. Get it out the way. And be
so that's the difference between having an entrepreneur mindset versus having the other mindset too, right? Or would you say that?
It should be.
Right? It should be the driver.
If you are an entrepreneur that has done the work, let's be real. Because a lot of people just jump into entrepreneurship with no plan. They just say, I don't want to work for nobody. I'm not meant to work for anybody else. I need to be my own boss. And they don't have a plan. They don't have nothing. They are operating on a wing and a
Right.
prayer. Ask me how I know. Ask me
How
how
do
I
you
know.
know?
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Love it. Love it.
I know. I mean, and that's why, I do my show Boot to Boom, from bootstrap to booming, because I wanted people to understand how much work it takes to be successful.
Exactly.
We focus on entrepreneurship. But really, if you watch the show, if you are about leaving a legacy, if you are about being great, if you are about excellence, then you understand that it's really more than entrepreneurship. It's really all about the trials and the tribulations and everything that is going to take on the road to success. The knowing that you're going to have 20 failures before you have one success, but you got to be willing to go through those 20 failures.
Yeah. And willing to just wake up.
That's what the show's about.
Wake up and like I said, wake up and get out there and do what you need to do. And don't just expect it to happen. That's amazing. I love that. All right. So we're coming towards the end of it. So I said I wanted to end on the whole BS conversation. I wanted to end on what is BS and what it's not, right? So you kind of touched on it just a moment ago.
Okay.
That's what your Boot to Boom show is about. It's about basically flushing all of that out and letting you know that if you think that you're just going to come in and say, oh, I no longer want to work for anybody, without a plan, without a strategy, without anything, and it's just going to happen for you, then you've been sipping on the Kool-Aid.
Right.
You're still asleep.
Would you say wake your tush up?
Exactly. Wake up. It's not going to happen. So yeah, give us some tips on, even if you want to just throw out some of the BS that you've heard. Let's go into that. What's some of the BS that you have heard from people? That Kool-Aid got something in. Definitely, the Kool-Aid got a little something in it that it's just giving you some liquid courage, and you need to get rid of it. You need to get it. Just let it go, because it ain't happening. You've been using some other sugar, not the real, not the kind you got stuff. So anyhow, just give me some. Throw at me some of the things that you've heard, some BS that you've heard that just really have kept people stuck and kept them, in a state of, or just really truthfully believing that, like you said, a wing and a prayer was going to happen for them.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that I hear all the time are people feeling like they can do everything on their own. Wow. And a lot of times it's because they're control freaks. They feel like they have to be in control of everything. They can't let go. Nobody can do it as well as them. And I remember, and I've seen this quite a few times, but I remember in particular this one client who came to me. She's one of those MJs, beautiful on the outside, had a great job, was in a relationship, children, all of that. And she came to me, oh, Ava Laura, I've worked with Iyanla. I've been to Oprah, Live Your Best Life. I've done this, I've done that. Basket case. And I said, okay, so you read some books, you went to some retreats. What work did you do on yourself? Because that ain't work. If you have not worked with a coach, you ain't done no work, because you haven't worked with somebody who's going to push you outside of your comfort zone. I don't care how many retreats you've gone to. I don't care how many self-help books you've read, right? That's a great start. Don't get me wrong. You got to start somewhere. That's a great start. But that is not going to get you there. You have to work with somebody who is going to push you beyond yourself. So I've worked with a lot of people who think that self-healing means that you're supposed to do it yourself. Self-healing doesn't mean you're supposed to do it yourself. Self-healing means that you have to take responsibility for yourself and know that the only way that you're going to heal is if you take responsibility for your own life and do whatever it takes, including getting help to get to that place.
Wow.
So that's some BS. None of us can do it alone. None of us can do it alone.
Wow. So let me ask you, Ava Laura, do you have a coach yourself that you use?
Yeah. Please.
So you use the coach.
I got a coach. I got a mentor. I got a teacher. I got everything. When I tell you that that you need a success team, I am so serious about
And who
that.
all? Okay, so who all would you have on your team? Give us a breakdown. So we'd have.
It depends on the person. I think that you need to have a good
Okay.
lawyer. I think that you need to have a good accountant. I think that you need to have somebody helping you if your account may be investing, right? You need a coach, a life coach. You also need a business coach. They're two different things. And you need mentors. You need mentors. And then obviously you got your friends and family and people like that. But that, that's what you need.
So it's not.
It takes a village to raise a dream.
I love that.
It takes a village. It's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen by yourself. It takes a village to raise a dream. The bigger the dream, the bigger the village.
Wow. I love that. And you know what? And to hit on that, I was watching Gary Vaynerchuk, I believe is how you pronounce it, right? And he did a startup grind. I think it was in LA not too long ago. And I don't know how I got on the YouTube channel of it, but anyhow. And I watched him, and he just talked about, like all of these different ventures he has, and all of them, like, how's he doing all of this stuff? How is he everywhere? And I believe like one of his things is like he never turns down an interview. Like he does or he tries to do every single interview, I should say. But he has a big, large media company that he's put out there now, and he has people that are running it for him. He isn't doing it himself, And for me, I'm a big, I guess, ego person, and I have to work on that. But, you're right. I just felt like I needed to control everything. Oh, no, I'll do it. Oh, no, I'll take care of it. And even with my family, same way. Oh, no, I'll take care of the kids. I got it. I got everything. And then now that's created a dependence on me all of the time, continuously, which drains my energy. So,
which takes away your personal power to do what you need to do to create what you want to create in your life.
Exactly. So speak to that, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. As far as I know, you're not a mother yourself, but speak to how that influences and affects both parents, actually, either mother or father, that are devoting all of their time and not going out for themselves, and really just stuck in, I'll call it the mom punk stage of life, to where you're just devoting all of your time and all of your energy towards your children's dreams, your children's whatever, your husband's whatever, and vice versa if you're a male, and how you can stop doing that.
Yeah. Like you said, you're really creating a codependent relationship, and where you need to feel needed in order to validate yourself, in order to feel like you have purpose, that you are doing something. You need to feel needed. And I actually I've seen this with several of my clients. Actually, most of my clients are women, and most of them are mothers.
Okay.
And they're either mothers or they're single and they're looking, to be in a relationship. It's like either one. And, I can think about this in particular where I've had several clients where they realize that codependency, that it had nothing to do with their children, but it had everything to do with their own dysfunction.
Gotcha.
And here they are trying to, oh my God, I just had this example. Actually, I want to say this week, where with one of my clients was talking about time management. And one of the things she realized, and it was a big epiphany for her, was a big aha, is that her lack of time management equated to her lack of boundaries. She did not value her own time. She was a people pleaser. She put everybody else before herself. And so therefore, when it came to having to take out time for her to work on her business, she didn't have the time for it. She was exhausted on every level, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. She was exhausted because she had put out all of this energy trying to help everybody else. And it became this cycle of dependency because she needed that to feel needed, to feel desired, to feel validated. If they didn't want her or need her, she would create that want or need.
I was just about to say that, a sense of value, right? She had to feel like she was valuable.
Yes. So the way to change that was for her to start feeling valuable herself, was to start feeling worthy, was to start feeling whole and complete. And that was a lot of the work that we did together, filling her up. Because I talk a lot about self-care, but the reality is this: if you don't love yourself, you're not going to take care of yourself. So I don't care how much I tell you, you need to take care of yourself. You need self-care. You need to meditate. You need to practice gratitude. You need to do yoga, exercise, prayer, whatever. You're not going to do that stuff if you don't value yourself. If you put other people's needs before your own, you're not going to take the time out to put your gas mask on first to save yourself, so then you can save everybody else. But I say to the ladies I work with, Captain Save-A-Ho days are over. We ain't Captain Save-A-Ho or Captain Save-A-Bro. Yeah. You got to let folks go.
Now that's a rap. You rap on the side too?
Not really. That was freestyle. That came from somewhere else.
Wait, let me give you a
Don't
beat.
Expect that.
Let me give you a beat.
No, ma'am. I know my limits. What I know, I really, really know. I don't know everything, but what I know. And I know I am not a rapper.
I love it. Thank you so much. You really touched on a couple of different things, especially for me. So if no one else got anything out of it, I don't know what rock you're laying up under. I don't know what you just heard, but I really truthfully got a lot out of this. And you're right. It all comes around full circle to you, right? And making sure that you're whole and you're complete, and that, like you said, you have someone to pour into you, so then you can then pour back out into the world. And if you're not pouring into yourself and you're an empty vessel just wandering around aimlessly, I call them zombies. That just every single day, just nothing, no change, just nothing. Even going to work sometimes. Okay, I'm not sure what that was. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. Tell us where we can meet you. All right, where we can meet you. Where we can meet you, sure, but where we can find you. Give us all your.
I am Googleicious. I am all over Google. So you type in my name. There's only one Ava Laura. I have yet to meet another one. The day that happens, I'm gonna be shocked. So you just type in my name, AVALAURA. I will come up. Actually, you get to AVAL, I'm gonna come up. There's only one Ava Laura. So you can go to my website, which is avalaura.com. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter, on Periscope, here on Blab, Instagram. I'm on everything. LinkedIn. I'm on everything. But again, if you type me up, and if you go to my website, avalaura.com, all of that's going to come up. And of course, you can join me on Facebook at Super Soul Success.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ava Laura, for joining in and giving us and pouring into us today. You really truthfully did. You poured into us today. All right. And if you guys are contact Ava Laura, let her know that you came from the podcast. You don't have to say it's Wake Your Punk Tush Up, but you can say Jessica sent you. And that'll work.